If a yellow weasel stands on two legs in the middle of a village road and asks you, "Do I look human?" do not answer. If it asks, "Do I look like a god?" do not answer that either. Because in some Chinese folk stories, this is not a question. It is a request for permission. One wrong word can let it follow you home. Here is the evidence. Mud on the threshold, tiny paw prints across the floor, a phone recording made while the owner was asleep. In the recording, his own voice said, "Yes, you look human, so choose carefully. Would you tell the truth, lie, insult it, or pretend you heard nothing?" The young man in this story was named Zhou Ning. Ning had not been back to his home village for almost 4 years. He worked in the city and called the village a small place because the real name took too long to explain. Winter, his grandmother died. After the funeral meal, Ning stayed one extra night to help his aunt clean the old house. Behind the village were bare fields, chicken shed, a small roadside shrine, and a dirt path that vanished into dead grass. By night, the whole village sounded like it was listening. Before dark, his aunt gave him noodles and said, "If you go out tonight, do not answer anything from the roadside." Ning thought she meant drunk neighbors. Then she added, "Especially if it asks what it looks like." He stopped eating. His aunt lowered her voice. "Some old stories say a yellow weasel can ask for recognition. If it asks whether it looks human or godlike, your answer becomes its step forward." Ning asked, "So what am I supposed to say?" "Nothing," she said. "If you must speak, say your eyes are bad. Or say human, never say God. Never laugh at it." Ning nodded very seriously. At 10:47 p.m., Ning realized he had left his grandmother's old key bundle at the roadside shrine. It was only a short walk. That sentence has started many bad decisions. He took a flashlight and went out. The village was silent. Even the dogs behind the walls refused to bark. Halfway to the shrine, his flashlight flickered. Something moved in the grass beside the road. At first, Ning thought it was a cat. Then it stood up. A yellow-brown weasel stood on its back legs like a small old man. Its front paws hung in front of its chest. Its eyes reflected the flashlight, black, wet, almost polite. Then, in a voice like an old woman clearing her throat, it asked, "Young man, look at me. Do I look like a person?" Ning's mouth went dry. He remembered his aunt's warning. "Do not answer. Do not say human. Do not say God. Do not laugh." For 3 seconds, he did beautifully. Then the weasel took one tiny step forward and asked again, "Look carefully. Do I look like a person?" Ning wanted to say his eyes were bad. Instead, because fear sometimes opens the wrong drawer in the brain, he said, "Look like someone who should not be out this late. A weak city joke." The weasel did not laugh. It only blinked. Then it smiled, not with its mouth, but with its whole face. "Oh," it said, "you think I look like someone." The road behind Ning seemed longer than before. He backed away, then ran to the shrine. The key bundle was there. Beside it lay a strip of yellow fur, still warm. Ning grabbed the keys and ran home. His aunt was waiting at the door. The moment she saw his face, she asked, "What did you say?" Ning told her. She closed the door, dropped the wooden bar, scattered rice across the threshold, and placed a bowl of ash beside it. Ning whispered, "Is the rice supposed to help?" His aunt said, "No, it tells us if something walks through." This was not comforting. At midnight, something scratched the outside wall. 3 small scratches. A pause, 3 more. Then a voice came from outside the door. Ning. It was his grandmother's voice. "Open the door. I forgot my keys." Ning almost stood up. His aunt grabbed his wrist. His grandmother had been buried that morning. The voice outside sighed. Then it changed. Now it sounded like Ning. "Open the door," it said. "I am home." The rice on the threshold moved, not scattered. Pulled aside, as if something very small was making a path. Ning's phone lit up on the table. No signal, but the recording app was open. A new file had appeared. Recorded at 10:52 p.m. Ning did not remember recording anything, but he tapped play. At first, there was only wind. And the weasel's voice, "Do I look like a person?" Then Ning's voice, "You look like someone." The recording did not stop. A second, Ning answered from farther away, "Yes, you look like me." Ning dropped the phone. Outside the door, something laughed in his voice. His aunt whispered, "It is not asking anymore, it is learning." The next sound came from the chicken shed, a burst of wings, then silence. Ning ran to the window before his aunt could stop him. Under the thin moonlight, the weasel stood on the shed roof. But now it was taller. Not human, not animal. Something badly arranged between the two. It wore Ning's old school jacket, the one his grandmother had kept by the stove. The sleeves were too long, the neck too thin, and the face was dry. The thing raised one paw and waved like a person, then it spoke in Ning's voice. And see, look at me now. It turned away and shut her eyes. Ning did not. That was his second mistake. The thing saw him looking. Every window in the house reflected a different Ning. One in the kitchen, one by the stove. One standing behind his aunt, one at the door, waiting to be let in. Some folk warnings say the real danger is that your words teach it what shape to chase. Call it human. It studies humans. Call it a god. It asks for worship. Mock it. It remembers your face. But tell it that it looks like someone, and it may choose the nearest someone to me. 2:13 a.m. The knocking stopped. Then Ning heard his own voice outside. I know what to ask now. His aunt whispered, do not listen. The voice continued. If I look like Zhou Ning, then what are you? The question entered the room like cold water. It no longer needed him to describe it. It wanted him to deny himself. If he said, I am Zhou Ning, it would learn the answer. If he lied, maybe it would take the lie. If he stayed silent, maybe it would keep asking until morning. So Ning picked up his grandmother's bundle and threw it into the ash bowl. The brass name tag flashed in the dark. His grandmother's name was carved on it, not his. The thing outside stopped. The first time, it sounded confused. Then his aunt began to speak. She said her mother's name, her father's name, Ning's childhood name, and the names of people who had lived in that house before him. One by one, she filled the room with names the thing had never been given. The reflections in the windows flickered. The Ning by the stove disappeared. The Ning in the kitchen disappeared. The Ning at the door pressed its face against the glass for 1 second, looked almost human, almost. Then a rooster crowed, not dawn yet. Just one confused rooster, possibly the bravest thing in the village. The thing outside screamed. By morning, the courtyard was empty. The rice had been pushed into a neat little path. The shed roof was covered in muddy paw prints. And on the door, scratched into the wood, were 4 words. You answered first. Ning left that afternoon. 4 weeks, nothing happened. Then one night in the city, his smart doorbell sent a motion alert. No one was outside his apartment, only a small yellow-brown animal standing upright in the hallway. It looked into the camera, raised one paw, and asked in Ning's voice, do I look better now? So if something small stands in the road and asks what it looks like, remember the rule. Not answer directly, do not joke, do not lie. And if it asks whether it looks like you, maybe the safest answer is no answer at all. Now tell me, human, god, animal, or silence.